Guys, let's be honest. Life moves way too fast for you to be standing around worried if you have BO. I don't care what you're doing. You could be in a job interview. You could be out on a date. Worrying about BO is the last thing you need to be doing. Enter Mando. Whole body deodorant, and you will never have to worry about BO again. Mando isn't just for your pits. It is safe everywhere. Mando clinically has been proven to block odor all day and up to 72 hours. Choose a solid stick with mandelic acid or go with a spray deodorant, which is perfect for the hard-to-reach spots, and it's offered in scents like Clover Woods, Mount Fuji, and Bourbon Leather. And you want to know what's perfect, guys? Get the Mando Starter Pack, particularly if you're a new customer. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with my exclusive code. And guys, that's over 40% off. Go to shopmando.com and that exclusive code I was telling you about, Chael, like the famous gangster. The code is Chael. Enter that at mando.com. Or to make it really easy, I put some links below. My phone has been blowing up. There is a piece Coach Eric Nicksick went on Errol Hawani's program, spoke very candidly with you, the fans, spoke very candidly about his athletes, and at least in my world, all hell has broken loose. I mean, I am getting messages from every which direction. Adam Felter has sent me 20 messages, and I'm still not completely sure if Adam's with it or against it. And I'm not sure that he is. I go to Ryan, it's the same thing. Okay. All right, time out, guys. Let's start at the beginning, okay? Coach Eric Nicksick is possibly the greatest coach to have ever done this. He needs a little bit more time, in my opinion, to make that argument go away, right? Like Javier Mendez and Greg Jackson still exist for us. He needs a little bit more time. And that's just so that there isn't an argument. If the game stopped today, there's a chance Eric Nicksick is the greatest coach to have ever done this. It's important that you understand that. And Nicksick was talking about Sean and the way that Sean competed. And Coach just said, listen, and I'm going to quote him right now. He said, listen, I want to talk to Sean. I want to find out what his motivations for fighting are. If his motivation is to make money, great. There's nothing wrong with that. But I, as a coach, am not here for that. I'm here to train world champions. And I feel that Sean's effort was uninspiring. Okay. All right. This is going to be very clear in a day or two. Because it's not a matter that Sean's going to come out and speak about it and say, hey, I'm okay with that or I'm not okay with it. Sean will say nothing, meaning he's okay with it, or he's going to lose his ever-loving mind. But the one thing about Eric Nicksick and Sean's relationship is Nicksick has always, when he talks about Sean, it's just as straight to the point as you can possibly get. And Nicksick knows his athletes. I can remember August of last year, prior to Sean getting in the cage with Israel Adesanya for a world championship. I can remember prior to that, Coach Nicksick talking about how great Israel was at kickboxing and why that dimension and that range needed to be respected. And I remember people coming out and thinking that the coach was conceding something or acting as though he didn't believe in his athletes. And that is a gross misinterpretation of what Coach said. He was being candid. He was saying, we have a strategy, we have a game plan, and let's start with some of the strengths of our opponent. It was a great interview. And I feel that today carries on from that. I feel that the coach who knows Sean so well is giving Sean a message in a way that Sean will understand so well. That's what I think. I will know in 24 hours. We will all know. But I think I'm right. I think I'm right on that. And Coach Nicksick is not the first to say that there was more Sean could have done. That isn't what I saw. I will tell you, if I was being critical of Sean, right out of the gate, he comes across the ring and plants his feet. Now, I've watched all of Sean's fights, and I used to train with him every day. He has never, in practice or in a cage fight, come across and stop moving. He has never done that. That stood out to me. I was just curious as to why. And there are possible reasons. Outside of that, I don't have any critiques I could give him. He went and fought. It was a fair adjudication. He ran into a guy that's better at this game that we play under the unified rules of the mixed martial arts. He ran into a guy that's better at playing that game, who is better at scoring points than he is. It was a fair adjudication. But some other people, I watched Sean Strickland get his nose busted off his face, want to quit, have every reason to quit in a fight where the math is already against him. All staying out there does is elongates a beating and delays the inevitable. That's all that it does. And he chose to stay out there. He chose to take that beating. And there's a massive honor in that. Being a great fighter, being a world champion. But Sean got greedy. He wanted to be the greatest fighter, and he wanted to be a two-time world champion. I mean, for goodness sakes, we're trying to do the guy. He went out there and fought tooth and nail. He got his nose busted off his face. He stayed out there and traded. He didn't even cut his interview short. And was there a point in that fight where a different Sean might have dug deeper and gone to a different gear? It's not what I saw, but I'm very open to that being the case. Sure. I mean, this is the one sport, and Anthony Smith has spoke to you guys a lot about this. You don't get tougher each time you come out of that cage. You leave a little bit of yourself in there. Any other sport, the more soccer games you have, the better you're going to be at soccer. Broad stroke, the more basketball games you have, the better you are at shooting hoops, right? The more fights you have, the weaker you get. You've only got so much toughness. I think Sean's plenty tough. I think Drickus was a little tougher. I think it was a fair adjudication. I think I watched Sean stand out there when the math was against him and his nose was busted. And I thought he looked pretty tough. But I'm not against the idea that a coach could see something and think, I got to motivate my athlete and I got to get more out of him. I'm very open to this, right? I'm not open necessarily to this concept of believing that Coach Eric Nicksick did something wrong. Coach Eric Nicksick has a strategy. And that strategy is not to hurt Sean. This is the medium of which he has chosen to get a message to his athlete who he knows well enough that he took him to a world title. Keep that in mind. Delay. Reserve judgment. We will circle back to this.